James Comey is not my favorite person, not by a long shot. I think James Comey is responsible for the disaster that has put this country in the terrible danger we find ourselves today. To refresh your memory, James Comey was the FBI director who oversaw the investigation into Hillary's emails back in 2016. The Republicans were shouting to the rooftops that Hillary's use of a private mail server for official communications while Secretary of State, well, that was the worst crime known to mankind, even though her predecessor had done the same thing. Their uproar resulted in a Justice Department investigation and the ultimate finding that Hillary had committed no crime. Well, for some reason, Comey also felt he couldn't leave it there. He thought he should give Clinton a tongue lashing, saying basically, well, that may not have been a crime, but it sure was stupid, or words to that effect. As if that weren't bad enough, just days before the election, he issued another FBI memo saying, wait a minute, we found more emails. The expected uproar followed, Republicans saying, see, told you so. Then a couple of days later, he issued another memo saying, as you were, nothing there. But by this time, the damage had been done, and the voters thought, well, with all this commotion, I'm just going to stay home, or maybe I'll vote for the orange guy. So I think when the history of this period is written, there'll be a giant ink stain beside Comey's name. So you'd think that Trump would love Comey, right? Well, no. It seems that Comey also had something in his makeup that Trump hates: ethics. Namely, that his commitment to the truth was greater than his loyalty to Trump. Well, that caused an explosion that was heard throughout the West Wing, and the ripple effects are still being felt, resulting in his indictment, Comey's indictment, by the fully weaponized Trump Justice Department, headed up by Trump's slobbering apostle Pam Bondi. Worth noting, 2 career prosecutors lost their jobs because they refused to indict Comey, saying there's no there. So the Comey story is complicated. He committed a massive blunder in his handling of the Clinton email story, but he may also be partially exonerated by the stalwart way he's confronting these accusations. Wouldn't surprise me if Comey welcomes this fight. He's going to win, and in doing so will inspire others. In his response to the indictment, Comey quoted someone close to him as saying, "Fear is the tool of a tyrant." Truer words were never spoken. Remember, Trump wants to be a tyrant, but he is really just a weak, petty man who has lived his whole life without anyone saying no to him. That made him the sociopath he is now. He thinks he fucked up the first time by selecting too many people who actually were qualified at their jobs, but were willing to say no to him. This time, the only thing that counts is their loyalty to their dear leader. Pretty good description of a tyrant. Fear plus unquestioned loyalty. The textbook description of a fascist. So that's what we're up against, and it's why we got to fight to make America a democracy again.